So, you are a medical practitioner practicing somewhere else and you would like to come and work in Australia. Good day, I'm Dr. Tia, and today we're talking about transfer to work in Australia. Now, I am an Australian medical graduate, so I've had to look this up so I can help people because I've been getting a lot of comments and questions online. Thought I'll answer with a video. So rock with me. The Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, also known as AHPRA, is how this journey actually starts. Because when you have attained your medical certification specialist, whatever it might be, and you're overseas, you first have to be registered in Australia as a medical practitioner. Now, there are many steps to this, and I hope I can outline them. But the biggest information or the biggest takeaway is that you go onto the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, AHPRA, website, and it seems pretty straightforward. Let's get started. AHPRA has, spreadsheets and flowcharts that explain how the process is to transfer from different country to come and work in Australia. But I'll provide a quick summary if that helps. So, to work in Australia, you have to be registered under AHPRA, the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency. That is where, even after you've completed your medical registration and you complete internship, you are certified with, or you're given general registration. Now, when you are an international medical graduate, you have attained your initial medical degree plus minus specialist degree overseas or from a non-Australian/New Zealand university. There are a few steps before you can be registered as a medical practitioner in Australia. Step number 1 is completing the registration of self-assessment tool, which is available on the AHPRA website. AHPRA, AHPRA website. If you just search AHPRA on your search engine, you should be able to get to that website. They have a tool, and on that tool, you can complete the assessment and see how you can transfer to Australia. So there are many pathways based on where you attained your initial medical degree/specialist registration. And so this could become a whole day conference, but to summarize, there are some specialties that are currently eligible for the expedited pathway to Australia. This includes general practice, obstetrics gynecology, pediatric health, anesthetics, physician, and psychiatry. So these specialties have currently an expedited pathway. The expedited pathway, however, is only for people who attained their medical registration/specialist registration in the UK, in New Zealand, in Ireland. What it means is that the Australian government has vetted the UK, New Zealand, and Ireland medical training and feels that that is equivalent to what is expected for doctors in Australia. Don't come for me, I'm just the messenger. So if you are from Ireland, the UK, or New Zealand, and you are a GP, anesthetics, or an anesthesiologist, obstetric gynecologist, psychiatrist, physician, and pediatrician, then you could potentially qualify for the expedited pathway. There are different steps that you would need to go through for you to transfer here, but it's a bit more straightforward. Now, if you are from those countries but have different training altogether, as in you are a general surgeon, then it's still worthwhile doing the quiz, because then it can direct as to which pathway would be most suited for you. Now, if you are a medical practitioner who has attained your medical training in countries that are not Ireland, the UK, or New Zealand, the next question that we have is, have you attained specialist training? If you have attained specialist training, then there are two pathways. The pathway for specialist registration or for specialist in need registration. There are tools and flowcharts to follow if you've already attained your specialist training but not from those expedited pathway countries. If you are a medical practitioner who has not attained specialist training at all, or you are contemplating specialist training but you haven't started anything, then the pathway is a little bit longer. The pathway depends on where the initial medical degree was attained. So if the initial medical degree was from the UK, the USA, Canada, New Zealand and Ireland, the pathway is a little bit different because the Australian government is implying it's vetted those countries and that medical undergraduate, postgraduate training is equivalent to what's expected in Australia. Now, if you are a doctor who has not trained in the UK, the US, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and you have registration but not specialist registration, then the whole process is to go through the AMC, Australian Medical Council assessment and registration. You will have to complete the Australian Medical Council AMC exams. So there's a written exam and there's a clinical exam. Sometimes the clinical exam can be made into workplace-based assessment instead of the exam. But technically there's a written and then there's a practical of some sort, whether that's an exam format or a WBA, work-based or workplace-based assessment. And then after you've completed these two, you would need to do 12 months of supervised clinical practice before you can then get general registration. So if you are an international medical graduate, as in you've gotten your medical degree from a university, maybe in Nigeria or in Brazil, what you'll need to do is you will need to meet the AMC requirements for you to end up with general registration. So the AMC is the Australian Medical Council, which will require that you write a written exam and a clinical assessment, which can be a clinical examination or WBA, workplace-based assessment. And then when you've completed these two, you will need to have 12 months of supervised clinical practice before you can then qualify for general registration. All this information, flow charts, they're from the AMC and from AHPRA, are available online at the AHPRA, Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, AHPRA website. So I hope that sends you on the right path. I don't have many answers to this because I didn't have to do it, but I hope that helps. The AHPRA website also has questions, FAQs, and emails to contact if there are still questions on how to do this. And yeah, hope that helps. See you later. Bye.